All right, so I'm here at an event. There's a lot of entrepreneurs at this event earning 7, 8, 9 figures a year. And I'm here with my buddy Joe, and he has a real estate business that generates many, many millions of dollars a year. And I've got a couple questions. And the first question is, Joe, did you go to college?
So I didn't graduate. I did go to college for a little while, mostly just to appease my parents. You know, being in the Midwest here, in Cleveland, Ohio, where I was born and raised, you know, we're a working class town here, you know. And my dad worked in a factory. My mom was a secretary over here at the bank.
Yeah.
And they wanted better for me. So the only way they knew how to advise me was study hard, get good grades, go to college. The challenge was, when I got to college, it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't like it, and I quickly saw, I felt they were just training almost like an assembly line, giving you a box education, get you out there to one of these towers over here, and you work in the bank or work for one of these companies, and I never had an interest in that. So I dropped out, and it lasted, you know, I don't know, 2 years, but no, I don't have a college degree.
Do you feel like it's necessary to have a college degree to earn the amount of money that you're earning right now?
Absolutely not. I honestly believe it's a deterrent, if anything. See, the way that the American school system is designed is to give you a box education and move you through the channels, because most people, they're not motivated. They don't want to figure things out. They don't want to bust their ass. They don't want to work 80 hours a week, so they don't have to work 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So they graduate people. My belief is they graduate people to get them into the American workforce, and it's very, you know, like average, right?
Yeah.
And
they're just raising to be average, which you definitely are not.
Right, and I just don't like it. I don't like the American education system. I want to go back a little bit on this, just to let your listeners know this. The American education system was started in 1917.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's when it really started to come around, and they were trying to train the children to be great manufacturing employees. So they use certain things that we still see in today's education system as they're training employees. The way the classrooms are set up, the row style seating.
Right.
That's roll call when you come in to work. Moving the kids through a bell system, right?
Yeah.
The bell rings, you go to the next classroom. The bell rings, you go to lunch. The bell rings, you go to recess.
I didn't even think about that.
That's
it really is.
still to this day, right? The bell rings at the shop, at the plant, the factory.
Right.
You go to lunch, it's quitting time, things of that nature.
Crazy. Yeah.
So it's a very antiquated system, and I'm actually so passionate about education that I homeschool my children.
Right.
And
you told me that.
Yeah, they don't go to the traditional, you know, school education system.
Because they're learning something that's antiquated. And
Correct.
It's not even relevant to what's going on today.
Correct.
It's a completely different environment now.
And I can feed into their passions that way and things they're interested about, and learn things they want to learn about, and so.
You know, I read a good book that got me, my whole mindset shifted, and it was The Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You know?
Yeah.
And Joe, I wish I had a dad like you, man. Next question is, how did you get started? Like, because there's no real estate investing school. How did you get started?
There's not. So here's how it basically happened. I'm 24 years in the business full time. That's all I've ever done. It started like this. So in 1996, as a 17-year-old young man, I'm sitting in my parents' house, laying in bed, late night TV, and those commercials would come on. For anybody who's been around the block for a little while in their 40s, they should know the Carlton sheets.
Carlton sheets,
right?
Yeah, I remember.
And then
that.
you see this guy, he's sitting behind him has a yacht, the palm trees are swaying, and he's interviewing it would appear to be average people that are going, I own this house, I own this house, I own this house. And they're living the American dream, you know? And even as a young man, I saw that and I said, gosh, like, I have no board of advisors, basically, no one to show me how to do this. I have blue collar parents, but I've got to figure this out somehow. And at that age, you can almost fall into anything, can become very impressionable. You are very impressionable, and you have to push really hard. I remember my whole life could have got changed on an instant, because when we graduated high school, which is the summer of '97, my friend got a job in construction. and he was making $19.45 an hour. I'm gonna tell you what, in 1997 at 18 years old, that was all the freaking money in the world. All right, and I begged him, please get me a job, please get me a job, and he couldn't or wouldn't. I don't know, you know, to this day, but you know, you have something you believe in and you want to try to make it work, and you always just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and that's what makes you different, is never giving up attitude.
Yeah. Wow. Do you remember who was your mentor in this? Yeah,
man. So, you know, I've had a lot of mentors. And the thing is your mentors change over time. You'll hit certain goals and get to certain levels. And then as you go on to the next thing, you need a different mentor. So they've changed, you know. My very first mentor was a young man. He was 24 years old. I was trying to flip my first house. It was late 1997. This man was, he was 24. He was a few years older than me. And I'll never forget, he pulled up in a yellow H1 Hummer. And I'll tell you what, once again, back then, there was nothing better.
That was the business right there.
Yeah, and that I was like, this is who I want to be, you know? And I remember saying to this guy, I go, sir, his name was Rob, I go, you might not know this, but we're gonna be best friends, whether you like it or not. And the funny thing is it's been 24 years later, and I talk to Rob almost every day.
Wow.
He now lives in Florida, and he's living out that dream, but I almost talk to him every day. And it's pretty wild, man.
That's awesome.
But they do evolve, they do change, you know. I went on after that to find, I became a real estate broker, opened a brokerage, so I had a great broker, traditional real estate broker as a mentor. He was wonderful. Went on to real estate investment, you know, during that time. Ron LeGrand was a great mentor. Some of the masterminds I'm involved in, there's great mentors. Mark Evans DM is a great mentor. You know, there's been a lot, you know.
Yeah. Thanks for spending some time, Joe.
Yeah, dude, I'm happy to see you.